Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we have the Winter 2026 manga haul. Now, caution, this may not be what you're expecting. I erroneously cataloged all the winter acquisitions as pictures instead of video. Maybe in the future with the second haul video in the year, I'll film it in a different style. But for now, I do apologize. I'm still working out the kinks. I don't necessarily know where I'm headed with this haul video series, but I am grateful that you're here. So with that out of the way, let's get started with what I picked up. Here we have Level 1 Demon Lord and One Room Hero by Tofu. This is volume 10. Now we are one volume away from finishing this series. I've only read half of it and it is really good. I'm looking forward to the finale once that's out. I don't know if I want to make a video on it or not. If you guys are interested, let me know, because I think it's a fun, quirky action comedy with very interesting artwork that at times reminded me of what Akira would do with non-Dragon Ball characters. Box of Light Volume 4 by Seiko Urasawa. The concept for this is fantastic. The idea that you're able to question about your life's choices and reflect on life itself while you're on the edge, on the border between life and death, and potentially moving on to an afterlife, and it being represented as this metaphor of going into this convenience store and potentially making your last purchase. And there's some hijinks with the store clerks and the people that run the convenience store. So if you're into that sort of eerie slice of life, then you might want to check out Box of Light, because I do think it's quite an original series. The 100 Girlfriends Who Really Love You, Volume 16. I did not realize there are so many volumes for this series. I'm in for the long haul. I really enjoy the series, but sometimes you get to one of these rom-coms and you realize, man, there's 20 plus volumes of this. When are they just gonna end the story and get it over with? But no, you know, we gotta meet all 100 girlfriends, right? We'll get there eventually. I think in Japan, they're up to, they're reaching volume 30 soon, if I'm not mistaken, like 20 something. So we are a little bit behind, but that's okay. We're gonna keep collecting them. World End Solte Volume 4 from Satoshi Mizukami, one of my favorite sci-fi mangaka. I think the work that Satoshi does is extremely underrated, and World End Solte mixes his sci-fi quirks but in a fantasy magical setting. I don't remember what happened in Volume 3, I'll be honest, so I need to go back and reread some stuff, but I'm looking forward to continuing the adventure. Yeah, it's not safe for work, but there's a purpose to that. I plan on making a video on this and some other trashy volumes of manga that were released recently. This is Let's Make a Harem in a Zombie World. I'm already spoiling one of my upcoming videos, but hang tight. This one is crazy and idiotic. Thank goodness I don't have video of this, because I cannot flip through the book without censoring all of it. This is by Yu Imai, the same creator as Witches of Adamus. So it's an ecchi series in a zombie apocalypse where the main character, when he does the thing and you know, gets together with the ladies, he produces the vaccine and the cure, I guess, the potential cure for the zombie virus. It's really dumb. It's as stupid as it sounds. And me as a zombie comic movie guy, sure, why not? I'll add it to the collection. From Kodansha, here we have Oh Great with Kaijin Fugeki Volume 1, Kindled Spirits. This is really fantastic stuff. I love the art. If you enjoyed Bakemonogatari, the manga adaptation by Oh Great, you're going to be happy with this series. You follow a Japanese boy who's affected by a phenomenon known as the Night, and there are some crazy illustrations here, some really wicked stuff that is inspired by science fiction and mythology, and I do recommend it just on the visuals alone. Gayatima Volume 5 from Kent. This one is pretty freaking great if you're a kaiju fan. I've talked about it before at length. I did a whole video on Volume 1 if you want to check it out. First impressions and all that. I think it's solid. If you enjoy Godzilla movies, Gamera, and all the other crazy kaiju that are out there, you can't go wrong by picking this up. From Kodansha, we picked up here Ashita no Joe Fighting for Tomorrow, the 4th hardcover. Now, we are on our way to collecting all of Ashita no Joe. It's always a treat to grab these books. The presentation is fantastic. It's a shame they can't be oversized, but I'm happy with what we got. This is really cool that in 2026 now, we get to own so many legendary series for the first time. Akira, the recently released Kodansha hardcovers. This is a classic for a reason. Katsuhiro Otomo, one of the legendary creators out there, and I am excited to finally own Akira. It was 6 grueling months of paying for the Akira subscription, but we finally made it here with volume 5 and 6. I caved. I said I wasn't going to grab it. I knew it wasn't going to go out of print. It's not really a necessity at the moment for my collection, but I guess I kind of FOMO'd myself. Here is Lone Wolf and Cub, Volume 1, the deluxe edition hardcover from Dark Horse. The trope of these two characters together has been replicated throughout cinema, not just in Japan, but Hollywood as well, and video games and all that stuff. And it's a classic for a reason, right? From Kazuo Koike and Goseki Kojima. This is one of those must-gets if you like samurai stories or good old-fashioned drama. You gotta check out Lone Wolf and Cub. From Viz, I picked up Hunter x Hunter Volume 38 from Yoshihiro Togashi. I have no idea what's happening in Hunter x Hunter, I have to admit. I've only seen and read up to the Chimera Ant arc. One day I'll catch up with the rest of you. One of a handful of Shojo Beat releases that I got, Otaku Vampire's Love Bite. I really enjoyed Volume 1, 2, 3, and so on and so forth. I have not read the last 2 volumes, so I have no idea what's happening. That's a theme running throughout this video. I do apologize, but Volume 6 here from Julieta Suzuki is pretty cool. Dan Da Dan, Volume 15. I'm almost caught up, right? As of this video, I think I'm 2 volumes behind the English releases, but Dan Da Dan's great, and I'm looking forward to the stuff here. I've not read Volume 15 yet, but it looks pretty sick, and just a really funny cover here as well. Miyu Morishita's Sumiki Ogami's Not So Ordinary Life. This is a really fun rom-com that mixes the supernatural, cryptids, you name it, a little bit of everything, and that's what I like. Shu Sakuratani's Rooster Fighter. The anime just dropped as of me making this video, and here we have Volume 9. This is such a delightful series. I love Rooster Fighter. I think it is fantastic. Yes, the plot, the book is absurd, but once you look past that, you are going to be delighted. Keiji is an awesome rooster, and the abilities, the different monsters that he fights is action-packed, no holds bar. It pokes fun at itself, it knows what it's doing, and it has a pretty memorable cast of characters, not just Keiji himself. So yeah, definitely give it a try. Magilumiere Magical Girls Inc. Volume 11. We are pretty close to finishing the series, and I'm very happy about that. Gosho Aoyama's Yaiba Samurai Legend. This is Volume 3. Remember, these are 2-in-1s, so that is always exciting. I really enjoyed the anime. That switched me on to collecting the manga, and the art from Gosho is fantastic. This is my petition out there. If they ever ask, please tell Viz, do this 2-in-1 format or 3-in-1s for Detective Conan / Case Closed. I would love to own that series. I'm a big fan of the anime, but I've never read the manga, and I would love to do that. Instead of potentially looking at 100+ volumes that I need to get, please do the 3-in-1s instead. I would pony up and collect the series that way. But yeah, we're supposed to be talking about Yaiba. Fantastic stuff. I love when it gets silly, but with heart, and this is Yaiba. We have the monsters of the week, that's fine, but it's the interactions between the characters and their honesty when it comes to the dramatic moments, and it's the goofy ones. They just go all out, and you're never bored with it. There's always something fun happening in Yaiba. Volume 6 of the Red River Omnibus edition. This is a 3-in-1. You see here collecting 16, 17, and 18. I've not read any of this material, but I'm so excited to own a legendary shoujo series from Chie Shinohara, and it has an anime adaptation coming out soon as of this video, so that is even more exciting. We got some Pokemon action. We have volume 3s of Sun and Moon, Sword and Shield, and Scarlet and Violet. It's been fun getting them in this format. So I could have already have finished collecting them because there are not a lot of volumes out there. I think Sun and Moon is 12 volumes. Sword and Shield is 14 or 15, something like that. And Scarlet and Violet is just coming out. Volume 3 and 4 are the most recent releases. But I love Pokemon. That's my favorite video game franchise. And I'm happy to get this. We're not going to see any adventures for these generations anytime soon. So I'm happy with getting the mini comics here instead. Raidarai Volume 3, I think this is a really fun, quirky, kind of vile series. If you enjoy Kyu Hayashida with Dorohedoro and Dai Dark, you'll be right at home with Raidarai. It has that gritty slapstick humor with grotesque images for all the alien creatures and stuff in a very unique setting with an alien hunter, basically. Another shoujo release, we have Firefly Wedding. This one's also by Viz, by Oreko Tachibana. The anime is coming up soon, if I remember correctly, and the manga recently ended, so that is a perfect combination. It's not going to be a long series to collect on your shelf, and I am all about that. We finally have a new volume of Asadora. It's been a long time since I've read the previous stuff, so I need to recap on what's happening, but you can't go wrong. This is a really wonderful series from Urasawa. Similar to freaking Lone Wolf and Cub. I said I wasn't gonna do it, but I don't know. I was just fooling myself with just the fact that I owned the Vizbigs. Here we have Vagabond, the perfect editions, I guess, the deluxe hardcovers, whatever they're called. I picked up the first one. It's going to be an investment, obviously, because you're going to get 12 of these hardcovers, and I don't really know what I'm going to do with the 3-in-1s, but I am a fan of this amazing presentation. This is a hell of a book release. Everything looks spectacular, and I love the obi and the textured feel with the book itself, and just a masterful series from Takehiko Inoue. And I hope we get deluxe editions of Slam Dunk. That would be great too, because I've been wanting to collect that series, but I'm always in the, will they do another edition? Will they just reprint it? What's going to happen there? So that's why I haven't collected Slam Dunk. From Kodansha, here is Yuki Ikeda's Thunder 3, Volume 8. I believe the manga is wrapping up soon. It's in its last arc, and it is getting an anime. If you like aliens and superpowered kids, you might want to check out Thunder 3. From Kana, we have Cat's Eye Omnibus Edition Volume 2. I also picked up City Hunter, but between the two, I'm more of a fan of Cat's Eye because it's in that realm of like Lupin the Third, which I am also a big fan of. But this one's pretty good with the sisters running Cat's Eye and all the different hijinks that happen and all that. So yeah, not to mention the art from Hojo is fantastic. And of course, here's City Hunter Volume 2. Yeah, I could say the same thing. Hojo's art on City Hunter is great. Iconic. This is one of those emblematic series from the 80s that people love, whether it's the manga, the anime series, movies, or even the live-action movie adaptations. And like I mentioned before, the Akira hardcover, here is Volume 6, finishing off the series. I finally have Akira in hardcover. I've only seen the movie, so this is going to be my first read-through of the series. Me and the Alien Mumu. This is my first Kodama Tales purchase. I'm excited to get books from the new guy in town, from one of these publishers, and I really enjoyed the Mumu anime adaptation, so I'm looking forward to reading the original source material. And look out for a special video on this book soon. Just a little spoiler tease for what's coming up next on the channel. Colette Decides to Die, Volume 6, Omnibus Edition. This, I think, is one of the best shoujo reads of recent memory, for me at least. I think it is a wonderful release. I do have a first impressions video on it from last year if you want to check it out. I had a lot of fun reading this book, and I highly recommend it. Plus, the art is fantastic. Another omnibus release, a 3-in-1. Here we have Hunter x Hunter. This is the way I decided to collect the series. I watched the anime first, and then I started getting the manga. Eventually, these will line up with the single volume releases. So around 10 of these 3-in-1s. More volume 4s of Pokemon. Here we have Sword and Shield volume 4 and Scarlet and Violet volume 4. Volume 4 of Sun and Moon should be around the corner here on this slideshow. This is mostly in chronological order as I got the books in. This is a series that I've been wanting to check out for years. When I do the manga podcast version of Omnibus on the Omnibus Collectors Network here on YouTube, Murcielago is always on the catalog previews whenever we do that once a month. And I've always been intrigued. Why is this manga called Murcielago, which is Spanish for bat? I've been wanting to find out. This is a yen press release. It is not safe for work. It is essentially a really crazy assassin that is tasked by the government to help capture and neutralize these threats from other crazy serial killers and stuff like that. So they're fighting fire with fire, and she's happy to do it. Plus, she's kind of a freak and a degenerate. I think like Black Lagoon, but taken to an even more extreme level. If you like that sort of B-movie type action series that is unapologetic, I think you'll be right at home with Murcielago. So yeah, definitely NSFW, but it's a lot of fun. So I am looking forward to reading more of the series. Here we have Insomniacs After School Volume 13. We are down to the wire with one more volume and we'll have this splendid series. I highly recommend it. Again, I'm not big on high school rom-coms, but this was one of the exceptions. I really enjoyed the anime. That made me fall in love with it, and I picked up the manga as well. The art by Makoto Ojiro is masterful in my opinion. He's one of my favorite mangaka, and I want to read more works from Ojiro. This is a really good one. Go check it out. The War of Greedy Witches, 32 of the Wickedest Women Duel to the Death. This is volume 4 from Homura Kawamoto and Makoto Shiozuka. This is my favorite of the magical battle royale manga, I guess. We've had stuff like Record of Ragnarok. This is like that, but a little bit flirtier, a little bit sexier, and more deadly. It's a lot of fun, and I enjoy the deep dive on some obscure characters from history brought to life in this series. That's always fun. I really enjoyed that when with Record of Ragnarok, and even things like Fate Stay Night, they do that as well when they summon the heroes, getting to guess, oh, this is this person or X or Y person from history. With this, they do that as well. And the action is pretty freaking cool and badass, pretty well choreographed for the most part. We got another shoujo release, Magical Girl Dandelion Volume 1 from Kaeru Mizuho. This is on a lot of people's list of most anticipated releases for 2026, myself included. I love the pairing here with the fiendish characters and the magical girl and mishmashing tropes and going all in with the action and the magical girl stuff. Happy to get this. Unfortunately, my copy got super banged up when it got here, but that's just the price you have to pay as a content creator. Pokemon Sun and Moon Volume 4, there we go. I really like the Sun and Moon era, the tropical feel based on like the Hawaiian Islands and stuff like that. And just seeing the Alolan versions of Kanto Pokemon is always fun. And Litten is one of my favorite starters, so I love that Fire Cat. I had to do it. Actually, no, not really. I was already planning on getting this. Nezumi's First Love by Riku Oseto. I think it's fantastic that it got such a hype in popularity because of the artist The Weeknd going to Japan, buying the Japanese volumes and showing it off, putting a spotlight on the series that not even the publishers and the creator himself were expecting. This is essentially an assassin girl falling in love for the first time and trying to escape that world. Of course, it's going to go horribly wrong. It's a pretty dark, wonderful romance that happens here. So I kind of FOMO'd myself thinking, you know what, a popular artist, actually one of my favorite artists right now, hyping up a book, I better grab volume 1 just in case, because people tend to go crazy and FOMO buy. Well, the book is still available. I'm the one that FOMO bought this thing, but I have it. It's great. I love the art, and the story is pretty intriguing, so I will be talking about it in a future video. Look forward to that. So there we go, folks. That was the first seasonal manga haul video that I've ever made. Apologies for the lack of moving pictures. It was just still images. I just did not document these releases the way that it should have been. So I'm gonna rethink this video for the spring edition whenever I make that, and hopefully the result would be a lot better than this one. So if you like this, thank you so much. Hit the like button, comment down below which book you want me to talk at length about. Share the video if you can on social media, that always helps out a ton. Subscribe if you haven't, that would be amazing. You can join my Discord, the link is in the description down below. You can also become a channel member, that helps out as well. So a lot of options to play around with on the channel. Thank you once again, God bless, stay safe out there. I will catch all of you on the next one.